What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Wingin Podcast, episode 85. I got Sandstorm with me. How you doing, man?
What's up? I'm doing good. How are you?
I am doing well. So, it's that time of year again. It's holiday season, so this is going to be our annual gift idea episode. But before we get into that, there were a couple things I did want to talk about. First off, I want to give my thoughts on the Halo Infinite multiplayer. My first thoughts on it. I am enjoying it. I'm not gonna lie. I finally went and got a Elite 2 controller.
Nice.
So, I was actually playing with it, testing that out, and I'm actually having fun with it. Now, I haven't been able to play it every day like some of these people have been putting in 40, 50, 100 hours
Real
already. So,
God.
I haven't been able to do that, but the few times I played it, I'm actually having a good time with it. Very responsive. Love the way it looks. Love the way it plays. Looking forward to December 8th because I'm all about the campaign. I love the Halo lore and the campaign. Multiplayer I do every now and then because it's not that serious to me. I'm not one of those competitive people. I just like having fun. I play video games as a hobby to me. It's for me to relax. It's not for me to try to prove dominance of anything. I don't need to do all that. Plus I'm older. So I'm older now. I just don't. Yeah, I just want to chill. When I come home from work, I just want to relax. So my hobbies are relaxing hobbies for me. So I enjoyed it. Have you had a chance to play it yet?
I downloaded it and everything. So the funny thing is, and like, I was playing a non-controller intensive game. I think I was playing Diablo 2. And so this is not actual controller, but when I was like using my movement stick, all I heard was click clang, and next thing I know, my stick was just sitting like on the side, and I'm like, no. This was right before the Halo download was available, and so I'm like, so I told a buddy of mine, he's working on my actual controller, but over this weekend. So I'm like, you know what? Everybody else is playing. I'm gonna try it. I'm gonna try mouse and keyboard. I'm gonna try and do it.
Okay.
And so I ran a couple matches, and I was like, "There's no way. I can't wrap my head around WSD."
Yeah.
I was like trying to turn and like move at the same time. I would say I wasn't horrible. I was less than 50%, but so like my experience was kind of skewed because I didn't really like the way I was playing. However, the overall I like it. You know what I mean? I like the movement style and everything. I think it was like a 3-on-3 the couple times that I was playing, and I feel like I know a lot of people don't like 3, but that's the last one that I played, and it feels a lot smoother, a lot better than 3 did. So overall, like this is their real push, man. I feel like this is their real push to really like go at the heads of like a COD and a Battlefield, when both of those, from what I hear, both of those games are kind of like missing something. So like, this is a clear opportunity for Halo to really shine bright. So overall, I mean, I think I will probably get it via Game Pass, because I got a whole bunch of other games that like Forza that I want to play from the Xbox without having to shell out $800 just to play all of them. So I think this will definitely be the push for me to finally go ahead and get that Game Pass. And I want to play. The story was my thing overall too. Like I would never play the multiplayer until like I was done with the story. So
yeah, I mean that's how I learned the controls. I tell people that all the time. Like the reason why I like, and then I messed around and fell in love with the actual Halo story. So I'm like, yeah, dude, I always play campaign because that's how I learned that's how I learned the buttons. That's how I learned how the game flows and everything. I think that's the reason for it being there outside of just having a mode just in case we ever take the service offline. So people can still play the game, but we ain't gonna get into that right now. But yeah, so basically you had a Mad Catz controller and you
Yeah, I don't even remember. I don't even remember what the name of the controller. It wasn't.
If it has an MC on it.
Yeah, obviously it wasn't Mad Catz, but
No.
I wonder if I got the box. Hold on, let me see if I got the box. I know I got the box somewhere. It's around here. Oh, maybe I threw it away. Yeah, I think maybe I threw it away. But yeah, look, I mean the controller was a really good Xbox One controller. Mm-hmm. Like it got really good reviews and everything like that. And I don't know even how it happened. Like I was just like casually, and it was like, "Pop-ping!" And I'm like,
and it just stuck.
Oh, you can't be serious.
All right, so Samsung, what you have to do now is you have to get mad, post pictures on Twitter, and start a movement to get them because of Xbox Drift.
Yeah, DriftCon.
Yeah, boy. But all right, so the other thing that I want to talk about is I know you heard this news. Smash Brothers.
Oh yeah.
Nintendo is finally doing a tournament with Panda, I think it is.
That's
who it is.
Yeah.
And so here's my thing. Here's my thing about this. I clearly don't care, but
no.
it's one of those things that is hilarious because so many people in that Smash Bros. Community have been complaining about Nintendo not supporting stuff. I'm like, I want to see what the rules gonna be like. Because one of my things is the reason why they didn't is because there was no way for them to, control the environment. And a lot of these people were setting these things up by themselves. And we saw what happened when all that stuff came out.
Right.
Like, you can't blame a corporation because the thing is, they are, at the end of the day, they are a corporation. What do people love to do with corporations? They love to sue them. Why? Not because they want to win. They want to get the settlement. They don't want to win. They want to get the settlement. Settlement high enough to get enough money. So I don't blame Nintendo for not doing. And everybody knows Nintendo got cash sitting on hand. They got a lot of cash sitting on hand. So I don't blame Nintendo for not doing that because one, Smash Bros. Is a casual game. Whether you want to believe it or not, Smash Bros. Was never meant to be at Evo. It's a party game. At the end of the day, it's a party game. I have never understood why people say, "Oh, this is professional fight." I'm like, no, it's not. You don't say that about Mario Kart. You don't say Mario Kart is a professional.
It's a professional race. It's a simulation racer.
Yeah, it's not a simulation racer. It's a party game. At the end of the day, it's a party game. Yes, you can turn the items off, but it's still a party game.
Right.
You're meant to have a good time with it. Smash is the same way. It's a party game. Now,
and the funny thing is that, like, I feel like I've seen a couple of tweets about this too. People want to hop on Nintendo because they're like, oh, now they want to jump on this, like, after they've been getting so much heat from like tournaments that come from like Street Fighter and like Mortal Kombat, and I'm like, y'all realize them been a thing for a while. Like, if they would have gotten heat, the heat would have been a long time ago.
The heat would have been back during the 16-bit era.
Yeah,
if that was the case. That's not the case.
Nintendo don't care about none of that.
No. I do like I said, I think it's funny because Smash Bros. Has gotten big to the point where, you can say that, they should back them. But the thing is, they should only do it. Hey, Gwen, what's up? Say, fair point. Minimizing liability. That's the thing. Like, I don't blame them because, number one, all it takes is another situation like what happened with that community and all them allegations that came up. That's all it takes. Because my thing was, when I first heard about it, I'm like, I saw so many red flags just hearing how the setups were. I'm like, you got 25 people over the age of 20 and this is red flag city right here. So like, just reading how the setups were, I'm like, there ain't no way in the world a company's gonna get involved with that.
Right.
No, because they're gonna be liable, and like I said, people love to sue. So all it takes is one time, and so I'm very interested to see how this works going forward. But once again, Smash Bros. Is not a simulation fighter. It's not it's a party game.
And I
So
can only imagine they'll probably set it up like how they did something similar to like the tournaments. Remember back when they were doing their E3s, and then like
yeah,
after the E3s, they had the Smash
Smash
tournaments.
tournaments, yeah.
Yeah, I could see it being more like that, where it's not necessarily everybody's all in the same room, but like more in a closed off environment, like
Mm-hmm.
not necessarily like private, but you know what I mean,
Not
like
yeah. Yeah,
not
I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
everybody right there, you know. So yeah, I think overall, I think it was probably a smart idea because if they wouldn't have stepped in, it was liable to get worse.
Yeah.
Um,
At
and
some
people
point,
take it
yeah.
in their own hands. Yeah, and like the only other way I could see it like being a success outside of Nintendo's hands was if they turned it into some sort of more like a convention than it was straight up like an actual, tournament. You know what I mean? Like going, this. You know what I mean? Like to celebrate Nintendo characters are, anything Nintendo related, but you also have your tournaments and stuff like that on the side or whatever. So it's more like this
Like
is
the
not the
World Championships, like the Nintendo
yeah,
World Championships, like that. Yeah.
yeah, not like a hostile environment of who's playing who and who's there, who didn't make the cut and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That's the only way I could have seen it be successful outside of Nintendo. But like I said, I'm glad Nintendo actually kind of stepped in and is going to do something about it. Guarantee let this be 5 years later, this is probably going to be something big. Like they'll turn it into something wild. Like
Yeah.
they'll have their own hall, and how Nintendo does.
Yeah, but and people still complain because they won't be able to use their modded melee.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Because that's what's
No
going to be
game.
next. That's going to be next. They'll be like, well, why can't I bring my modded? Like, no, dude, no. Well, I don't understand why that Bayonetta is allowed to be in the tournament.
Right. Can we use version 2? Use version 2, not 3.
like,
For what?
For what, dude? Like, no. So now this does bring up the question, like, say, all right, so let me ask you, if it was you, would you have like a separate tourney for like the OG Smash 64, a separate one for Melee, a separate one for Brawl, and a separate one for Ultimate? Or how would you do that if it was you doing it?
Yeah, actually. But I would have them on different days though. Okay. I wouldn't have them all running on the same day. And I would probably start them off in that order. No, yeah, I would probably actually mix them up. I wouldn't have them go in like the straight order from OG to now. Mm-hmm. I probably do the OG Smash original, and then do Brawl, Melee, and then Ultimate. Dang, I'm missing one.
Wii U. I count Wii U as in the Ultimate the same. Yeah, because it's pretty much the same exact roster and plus everybody else. So
right.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah. So I would probably do it in that way, and the way that I would have the lineup is I would actually not do elimination rounds or do eliminations. Like that works for like sports and stuff like that, and I kind of shudder when I think about like basketball, the NCAA doing it in that style, and the NBA doing it in that style, like the elimination one round elimination. I'd probably do it more so the round robin type of deal. Mm-hmm. Two lost, you out. You know what I mean? Yeah. A match of, I don't know how they do it. A match of 3. I feel like that's fair. You win 2, you move on. If you lose 1, that's your 1 loss. You play somebody else. And then the second loss, you go into the bottom bin or whatever. And then after that, that cuts everybody, I think, into it's either a third or a half or whatever. But from then on, then you go into the 1 loss eliminations. But yeah, I would definitely do it that way. I wouldn't have it all in one day. I don't even think you could smash all that. Pardon my. Yeah, you couldn't crunch all that into one day, especially with all four of those games. So here's the thing, though. Let me ask you this question. Because the last time we see Nintendo do with Smash, they brought out I'm not gonna call them content creators because I'm pretty sure they're streamers. Who would you have? One, who would you have officiating it? Because you need some sort of officiator. And two, who would you have being the commentary? Or I wouldn't say like specific people, but like what kind of people would you have in place for the commentary?
See, that's the thing, because I've seen a couple of the tourneys they've done, and the commentators have made me cut it off.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
They've made me cut it off. Like
some of them, like they're way too.
I'm like, I'm not. This ain't no. Like, I'd have Snoop Dogg commentating. I have Snoop commentating at least, because at least I have Snoop and Kevin Hart commentating, because at least with them, I know it's gonna be funny.
Right.
Like, I don't know why the 3 times I've seen it, and 2 of them were at E3s, and then one of them I saw the championship last weekend or weekend before, I think it was. It's just like they try to be so technical about Smash, and I'm like, you're killing me here, dude. I don't even want to hear you no more. I just want to see the gameplay. I don't want to hear you anymore. Yeah. So I'll probably try to bring in like I said, like Snoop or Kevin Hart or somebody that I know is just gonna talk about what they see on screen. They're not gonna be talking about nairs and distance and all. They ain't gonna be doing all that. They're gonna be saying what they're gonna be saying what they see on the screen and making it fun for everybody.
Kevin Hart, I think Kevin Hart and Snoop, like as a tag team on the commentary, would be ridiculous. I don't know if I would be able to stop laughing.
I'm just saying, because like I said, it's nothing against the commentators. I don't want people thinking I'm like, oh, you just hating because you ain't. No, they're too technical. They're too technical and it's boring. Yeah, I'm like, the reason why everybody loved the Attitude Era because of JR and Jerry Lawler. They're back and forth. The way they were just calling what they saw. That's why people loved it. If you're a wrestler, you understand what I'm talking about. The reason why we love John Madden and Pat Summerall, same reason. They weren't sitting there talking about, oh, well, he should have ran a XZY crossfade. They didn't do that. They talked about what they saw, you know. So the last few times I've seen those, they've made me cut it off. The commentator just made me cut it off. Same thing with that Splatoon one they did. I was having fun watching the Splatoon one when they was quiet. But I would probably bring in somebody that knows how to just have fun. Yeah, and just make it fun for everybody else. Right. Because they clearly, like, sometimes it's best. Perfect example. Y'all go on YouTube and look at Kevin Hart and Snoop Dogg, the Olympic commentary, and tell me you ain't gonna be laughing. Especially the one where he talked about the horse was crip walking when they were doing dressage. Yes, for Snoop. So yeah, that's why I say I would probably try to bring in like somebody I know would be fun, or at least just know how to have fun instead of like making it boring. Yeah. Because I think there were like streamers, but it was like there was like in the fight game communities. So yeah, and it's just it wasn't a good time. It's not a good time where I either put it on mute or I just don't watch it.
Yeah, because a lot of times game is already. Professionals make that game already faster than what it already seems like. Yeah. And just when they're working these combos and stuff like that, and just with commentators trying to talk so fast and talk about, the technical side, you're like, what are y'all talking about? Like, yeah. Like, you saying what you're saying is not explaining exactly what's going on. It might be, but in my head, like, that was just a forward smash. You know what I mean? Like, yeah. But
it's kind of like you're watching it and like the teacher from Charlie Brown is talking wah 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 wah. That's what it sounds like. Yeah. Like,
I think this is the reason why I don't like golf. Like watching golf is because they do the same thing.
And the funny thing with golf is when you hear the commentators talk, they're trying to be silent. Like y'all are not on the field. Right? Talk normal. As he goes in for his stroke, you can see the wind. Yes, I'm like, dude, talk. Y'all are in the back. Y'all ain't even on the green. So,
that was a solid swing.
Yeah, like what the like, come on, man. But yeah, if it were me, I would probably try to get somebody like that because I know people would watch because it's Snoop and Kevin.
Mm-hmm.
They would watch because it's them.
Yep.
And two, that'll bring more eyes to it. And on top of that, it'll get more buzz going, more word of mouth. Just let them have fun. Now, once again, it's Snoop and Kevin, so they're gonna say something stupid, but it's not
Oh,
gonna
all
be,
the time.
but it's not gonna be offensive. Because like I said, go and watch the 2021 Olympics and watch what they because the clips are all on YouTube. Because NBC was just like, we have got to play this for everybody. So they put the clips up. NBC put the clips up. So go watch it and tell me what you think. Like, leave a comment and let me know what you guys thought when y'all go and hear that, and tell me if you wouldn't want to see it. Have them commentating pretty much everything. So yeah, that's that. There's one more thing I do want to talk about. I'm waiting. Hopefully, we can get Shadow Fox in here because there's one thing I want to talk about that released earlier today that I saw, and that's Riot Forge. They're doing a fighting game for the League of Legends series. League of Legends is doing a lot of cool stuff. If you following my Twitter, you have seen all the stuff for Ruin King I put up. If you following the gaming channel, you saw all the stuff for Ruin King I put up. I am loving Ruin King, a League of Legends story. It's out on everything, so please pick that up.
So that's what that is. Like,
Yep.
I never. Okay, so like I've seen Ruin King, even in my news feed, on the Switch, and like I'm like, I watched a couple. I want to say probably maybe about 30 minutes, and the stuff that you put on Twitter too, and I'm like, okay, game looks good, but like, how did it come out of nowhere? And
Well,
then like,
it got talked about last year, and then it just went silent.
okay,
because it was supposed to came out earlier this year. It went silent, and then Tuesday they had their Riot Forge presentation, which once again shadow drop stuff. Then they shadow dropped 2 games, and the Ruin King was one of them. The other one is the Hex Tech game, Hex Tech Mayhem game. So I'm actually love. They also have Arcane out on Netflix. If you haven't had a chance to check that out, it's actually pretty interesting. I'm not done with it yet.
okay.
But I do plan on reviewing it. And people, if you watch my movie and TV reviews, I do owe you guys an apology. I've been trying to coordinate with people to try to do these reviews, and we just hadn't been able to coordinate. So I'm just going to start doing reviews on my own again, because it's way quicker just to do it that way. So I'm going to be doing The Harder They Fall and a couple of the other ones that I've watched, Red Notice, and I'm just going to go on and do those by myself at probably either tomorrow and Tuesday.
How was Red Notice?
I liked it. I know a lot of people didn't, but them 3 together is hilarious.
I just figured The Rock and Ryan Reynolds,
yeah, or The Rock and Deadpool, because that's pretty much what
they're
like.
Yeah,
it's a good movie. Like, of course I saw stuff coming a mile away, so I'm not gonna talk about that. But it's fun. It's a fun movie in my opinion. But yeah, I'll do a review for that, and put those up on the channel. And once again, I do apologize. And my book review, I was trying to get another couple of interviews going, but they kind of fell through. So I'm just gonna start doing those by myself too. So I do once again apologize for that. If you've been looking forward to that and wondering why I went silent on that, I apologize. But yeah, they did a fighting game, and there's something that they said in the YouTube video that I linked this morning about netcode. And I know y'all hear me talk about netcode a lot because I'll be making fun of people who keep saying it.
I feel like somebody tagged you on netcode.
But no, I bring it up because, like, as somebody's in the IT field, it's one of those things that aggravates me when I hear people just act like stuff in IT can just be fixed by the flip of a switch. It doesn't work like that. Your stuff has to be coded, and people don't understand that. And when you try to explain it to them, they tell you that you don't know what you're talking about. And I'm like, okay, well, where are your certifications? Where are your degrees that tells me that you've done this? Oh, now you block me. I just asked you a normal question, and you blocked me because I'm just asking you a question. Because one, if you don't know anything about programming, which once again, if you don't know about programming, I'm not gonna get mad at you for that. But you don't know what you're talking about, and you're just repeating what somebody else says. But they made up a very interesting point, and I'm hoping Shadow can jump in because I want to have him in there because there's something that they say, and if I can find that video again, I'll play it at the end of this, and I will play the part that I want people to hear because it's funny that when Katsuhiro Harada said something, people said he didn't know what he was talking about, and this guy said the same thing, and I want to see how many people say he don't know what he's talking about. That being said, it's that time of year again. So it is gift ideas. It's the holiday season. So if you do not know, we are gamers, geeks here. So we know how it is when people want to buy stuff for the holidays and they completely drop the ball.
Mm-hmm.
We understand. So what I will first say, if you're looking for something to purchase for somebody that is a gamer, you can never go wrong with a gift card. Whether it's and if you don't know what system they like to play on, just get a Visa gift card. They'll add it to whatever store they want to use it to. But if there are gift cards for Microsoft, for Xbox, let me change that, Xbox, you might want to make sure it says Xbox on it.
Mm-hmm.
PSN, which is Sony PlayStation, and eShop, which is Nintendo. And then you have the various ones for like Steam. I know Steam has one.
Steam's got one.
And I think does Epic have
Epic has one too.
Has one now? Okay, yeah. So they have those. Well, now you can find those at Walmart, Target, GameStop, Best Buy.
Yeah,
they have them everywhere. Matter of fact, usually at Walmart and Target, as soon as you walk in, they're on those spindles. So just spin them around and look for one. And they have them at different price increments. So that if you don't know what to get, you can never go wrong with getting a gift card. Just keep that in mind. Now, I'm going to go through a list of games. I'm going to go through some of the games that I think are actually pretty good from this year. And I'll give you a reason why I think you would probably want to get them. Understand that a lot of these games are digital only. Some of them are physical, do have physical editions, but I'm gonna tell y'all right now, we getting into this age. Y'all see it now with streaming. A lot of stuff's going digital, and with gaming, the reason why a lot of stuff's going digital because stuff's just too big to put on physical media. That's just how it is.
Costs too much.
Yeah, it just costs too much. So I want to start with Nintendo, and I'm gonna do about 5, and I'm gonna let you do 5. That's cool.
Okay.
That way we won't go forever.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. So now, for me, if you are a parent and you are looking for something that they can play for a long time because they ain't getting 4 and 5 games, I completely understand. I got your back. So first up is Monster Hunter. You can get either Monster Hunter Rise or Monster Hunter Stories 2. Both of those games are on the Switch. They're also on PC. So you have some leeway there if you want to. If they don't have a Switch and they have a PC, you can get them for there. But those are very intensive games. They have a ton of replay value, and they're a lot of fun. Now they're RPGs, so it does take a little bit of time to like play and get your characters up to speed. But I think it's a fun game that they can play for a long time because you could easily put what 200-300 hours in easy.
Oh, easily, yeah.
Yeah. So if you're a parent, you're like, look, y'all ain't getting everything. That's what. Now that is a single player experience. So keep that in mind. So just keep that in mind. Second one that I think is actually pretty fun. That I think these are games that I've played. So I'm not gonna tell you about games that I have not played. So don't get mad if you're like you didn't say this game. I ain't played it. So I can't do that. Now, this is a game that I think a lot of parents will enjoy as well. This is a multiplayer game, Cruis'n Blast. It's a racer. Now, if you are my age, y'all know what Cruis'n is. It was that it's an arcade game, and you should already know because you see it. You might even see it if you go to a theater now because they're still in theaters.
Cruis'n USA.
Yeah, Cruis'n USA. So this is called Cruis'n Blast. I think it's one of those multiplayer games I think everybody can have fun with. It's an arcade racer. It's not simulation. So if you're expecting Forza, this ain't it. But it is an arcade game. It's meant to have fun. You can play. They have a lot of different cars and a unicorn and a triceratops and a UFO. But that just comes with the territory. But yeah, it's a fun game. I think a lot of people get a lot of fun out of that game. So yes, that is a game, and that's digital at the time of this. I think it's digital only. I haven't seen any.
It's only digital.
Yeah,
There's
I
no
haven't
physical.
seen it. Now I did hear that Limited Run may be doing a physical, but I haven't found anything concrete on that. So don't quote me on that. You know, that's just one of them. Now that is a game that everybody can play. Right? It's multiplayer, and it's couch co-op. Doesn't have online, but it is couch co-op. So if you got a lot of kids, you got 4 people, you can play it easy. So no problem. Now this one is gonna be for the fans of the Metroid series. This game is not for everybody. It's Metroid Dread. It is not for everybody. It's fun. It's not hard. It's challenging though. And
it's not for people named David Jaffe.
Yeah. The thing about it is now if you haven't played any other games in the Metroid series, you might be a little lost story wise. But like I said, it's an action game. It keeps you it runs at a good pace, and the Emmy locations, they do evoke a sense of space alien horror if you watch the Aliens movies. But it's a game that easy for everybody. It's not like rated mature or anything like that. But it is an action game. You're fighting mostly monsters for the most part, but you're fighting creatures. So that's just one of the ones. But that is a single player game. So keep that in mind as well. So that's what 3 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's 3. Well, 4. So last one that I'm going to bring up is another single player game, and this one is for like the ultra casual, and that is Metopia. Yeah, it's a weird game, but it's weirdly addicting. So if you start playing for some reason, you just keep playing. I don't know how to stop. So it's an RPG. It is a one-player RPG, but it's the one that everybody can play. I feel like it's one of those like stress relieving games. Like it's not hard at all. It's just there, and it's funny. But it's basically made up of every me on your Switch. So go have fun with that. I'll leave it at that. All right, on to you, Sandstorm. What about you?
All right, so I've got a few of them. I've been checking around, looking at different prices and stuff. So the first game that I want to throw out there, I don't even have the game on me. I should have just put them all next to me. Is Shin Megami Tensei 5. Now this game is for one, let you know straight up that this game only came out a couple weeks ago. So if you're one of those people or parents or children who has that like big gift, this is full price. So like for me, I don't get mad money. Like this is your big gift. You just got Shin Megami Tensei 5, $60. Here you go. This is for those who are really into RPG style games. Like Persona, as a matter of fact, this is actually the main. If I understand correctly, this is like the main line to Persona, which is like the sub line of Shin Megami Tensei. It could be the other way around, but I'm pretty sure that's how it works. But this is a game where you're battling demons, fight for humanity, normal good and bad stuff. Very well written game.
Your basic JRPG anime style.
Yeah, your stereotypical JRPG. It's very well written, very beautiful game, very well designed, and it'll definitely last you a long time. Now, if you are more of so Gwen, help me out there. Shin Megami Tensei is the main line. Persona is the spinoff. As well, he also said Cruising Blast is physical. That was my mistake.
Thanks, Gwen. I appreciate that.
Yeah, appreciate that. So if you are looking at something that is more top down, I don't know why I keep addressing this, but Diablo 2 is also on the Switch. I have it for PC, but this is a great game. If you're not an old head like me who played the OG version of Diablo 2, this is just a remaster of the original game. It's very well done, very well made. There's online, so if you like the online aspect, you can play with other people. As well, there's also single player, so you can play by yourself. And I know we're all in this, we hate Blizzard moment, but they are allowing certain hacks to the game, so you can do certain things to it, but like not everything is feasible. But if you don't like Blizzard, and you're not in those type of games, if you like something that's a little more dark, I recommend Dying Light, which is it's another game that is either single player or you can play it online. The game, I believe the original game came out in 16, I want to say, but it finally got ported to the Switch. So this is my first time actually playing this game outside of a demo. And again, it's very, very well done. It's a very beautiful game on the Switch. It runs really well to me. Now, other people like 120 frames, 240 frames per second, but 30 is good with me. So, but this game is really well done. It's set up how not like your Call of Duty zombie games, but more like bunch of zombies in the world. Probably need to stay away from them, but you can attack them in groups, but they always show up type of deal. But this is one that I've been playing with a few friends, and it's more entertaining to play with friends, but it's still very fun to play by yourself. Now, with that being said, if you don't like any of those, this one game that I'm going to suggest probably should go with Mario Party. But since I don't have Mario Party, I'm going to say Mario Golf. And the reason why I say Mario Golf is because this is a game that makes for a very good party game versus an actual game to play by yourself. Because I played this game by myself, and it's not really that great. But when you start to play with other friends, like most Nintendo games that are party games, it actually works out very well. There's different modes, like the rush mode. You can knock down other golfers to try and get in the hole first, whoever wins, that kind of style. It's a very fun game. Now, if Mario Golf, am I on 4?
Yeah, you're on 4.
Okay. If Mario Golf is not your thing, if Mario Golf, Shin Megami Tensei 5, Dying Light, and what other game I said? Diablo 2 is not your type of game, and you just want to sit back and you want to chill and you don't want to do anything else, just want to relax. And if you're like my brother who has a Switch in their house and for whatever reason, I don't know why he doesn't take it from his stepdaughter and play it himself, go ahead and get Zelda Breath of the Wild, because that bad boy is now $39.99 on Amazon. So with Prime. So take advantage, because a lot of people say that's the greatest game of all time. I don't know if I would go that far, but I would definitely say it is definitely in the tops of one of the best Zelda games that we've had, period. And I don't think I really need to explain why that game is so good. Especially if you're an adult or you're a parent and you just need that couple 10, 15, 20 minutes to just chill, and being able to have the Switch, which is like, a grown man's Game Boy, to play that game open world and just go wherever you want to, do whatever you want to, climb wherever you want to, and fly off wherever you want to, that's the perfect game for you. Just to even be able to clear your head, let alone actually play the game for the actual story and the lore that is really deep in that game. So those are my top 5 so far.
Okay, and another thing, if you are a parent that you want something that has a ton of replay value, Breath of the Wild, you can easily put 500 hours in there and not even finish the game.
My daughter is 7. She's 7 right now. And on her profile, on my profile, I have 256 hours. On her profile, she has 330 hours.
It's
so,
easy.
Yeah.
Easy. So it's one of those games you could buy that and they'll be playing for a while. Gwen, I will say this, Gwen, you are absolutely correct. Buy Astral Chain. I'm not even going to front about that. But yeah, now that game did come out like a couple years ago, but I do think that one's on sale as well, and that one does have a physical copy that I know of that they still made copies of. So there's that. Now the next, I do this every time, and people, please understand, I don't hate Sony and Microsoft, but a lot of their games are not exclusive, and I'm just gonna tell y'all right now, my list on both of those, I played the ones that are on both systems, so those are the ones that I'm gonna talk about right now, just because I haven't seen a lot of them go between them. One, I did jump back into Outriders. And they did fix a lot of the problems they had from the beginning, from when they released initially in April. So I can say with confidence that it's a game that if you are just looking for something that can keep your child or person you buying this for attention, it has replay value. It's online, so they can play with their friends, and it doesn't suck. They went and fixed all their issues. So that's available on both PlayStation and Xbox. It doesn't matter if it's PS4 or 5 or the series, or well, Xbox is available across all their family. So there's that. Another one I'm gonna bring up. Now I didn't bring up this one up on the Nintendo because it is available on Nintendo as well. Crash Bandicoot 4.
Ooh.
That's what I think everybody will like. It's a platformer. It's fun. I did play it. I had a good time with it. And I'm not the biggest platforming fan. I'm gonna be completely honest with you guys. It's not my favorite genre, but it was a lot of fun. Crash is a lot of fun. And once again, that's available on pretty much everything. I am my third game. I am a huge Yeast fan. That's YS. So Monstrum Nox came out in February of this year for PlayStation, in July for the Switch and PC. It's a fun game. While I do think 8 Lacrimosa of Donna is a little bit better, I do enjoy Monstrum Nox. It's a lot of fun. They have a lot of side quests. Once again, it's a single player game. Now, as far as being playable for everybody, you might not want to let the little ones play this one, just because there is one character that loves to have a little language issue. I don't know what people allow in their house. That's why I'm bringing it up. So I just don't know what people allow in their house. I think it is rated T for teen, but I'm just letting y'all know. I don't think there's nothing wrong with it because it's an action RPG, but it is a one player. But there is that I think people need to understand as well. So what's that? That's my third one, right? Okay. Fourth one. And this is, even though I hate how they marketed this game, I can't deny that it is fun once you start playing it. And no, I'm not bringing that up. No, screw that. I'm not bringing that one up. Sonic Colors Ultimate. Now, I like Sonic Colors. It's like one of my favorite Sonic games. Now, when it came out in September, there was a lot of, I say, misinformation around it, because there were a lot of people trying to use emulators and stuff and saying there was issues. I did not have those, so I still have fun with the game, and it's available on everything, PlayStation, as well as I want to say it's on Game Pass now, if I'm not mistaken. I think it is. Don't quote me on that though, but it is available on the Xbox. So yeah, check that one out. If you want if that's another platformer, that's one everybody can play. Let's see, what is my other one? I did not play Resident Evil Village, so I can't talk about that. I know people.
I was gonna say that one.
I can't say that one, so I didn't play that one. Chris Tales. Now this one I will tell people before you get this one for people. Find out if they're an RPG fan first, because while I had fun with it, I don't know if it's for everybody. And I am an RPG head, so I have fun with it's a different style of combat. It's turn-based, but the way they do their combat is a little different. So I like it. I love the art style. I love how the story's set up. So I think people can have fun with it, but that's just me. So that's what 4 for me. And that once again, that's available on Xbox and PlayStation as well as Switch and PC as well. And I played this one on Game Pass. It's going to probably be my only Xbox one that's exclusive, and that's Forza 5. I like wrecking cars I can't afford, so you have to forgive me on that. I'm sorry, man. I don't try to win Forza. I just like wrecking Bugattis and Corvettes and Ferraris. I just like doing that. I'm sorry.
It's like, wouldn't be my car.
Yeah. Yeah. So that is available on Xbox, and that's actually available via Game Pass as well. So there's that. And my last one for Xbox is going to be Halo Infinite. Yes, I'm playing a multiplayer, but by the time the campaign does release, the game does technically release on December 8th. So, but just from what I've played of the multiplayer, I think people have a lot of fun, especially if they're a Halo fan. I think they have a lot of fun with it. And that's a game you can go on and pre-order it now on online. So I would and I don't know how to, because there have been rumors that they're telling people to get their Christmas gifts out early, buying them, or at least buying them early this year. I don't know if that's going to affect the gaming industry like that, but if you're looking to buy stuff physical, I would probably try to or especially if it's pre-orderable, I would probably try to pre-order it as quickly as possible.
Yeah, that's a smart idea.
Yeah, if you're trying
don't
to
wait until Black Friday or after.
Yeah. Now, if you're getting it digital, you can get it with it whenever, if that's what you're doing. Now, if you just want to get it digital, yeah, you can just do that whenever. But yeah, if you're trying to get physical, I would probably go ahead and pre-order as soon as possible, just so that way to get to you on time.
And too, I'm pretty sure they do it for PlayStation. I don't remember if they do it for Nintendo or Xbox, but you can buy a game from their store and gift it to a person as well. So you don't necessarily have to get onto their device right there and try to figure out the operating system to be able to pay for those games. You can actually get those games over to them.
Yeah. And I think that does it for me for my Sony and Microsoft one. Okay. I'll let you do how you want to do it, because most of mine are.
I kind of got weak with Sony and Microsoft these last this past year. Actually, this is actually the weakest that I've been with Sony, which is kind of crazy. So I'll try and throw in some Sony stuff. You already said Outriders, so that's not going to work for me. But if you have a younger kid, or you have a younger brother, younger cousin, or anything like that, might I offer you some Brilliant Diamond and Shiny Pearl? Even though I don't have the games themselves, I have played Diamond and Pearl because I'm an OG head like that. But these games are really, really well done games. They're really well done as remasters. The thing about this game is one, if you have some kids or some cousins like that who are really into Pokemon, this really sets up for our next month. And I'm not talking December because I feel like we're pretty much in December anyway, but it sets up for January, which is the new Pokemon Arceus. We went into a long, drawn-out discussion about it on the channel with details and stuff, but this is actually a new take on the Pokemon world and how you go about playing Pokemon. So in order to really understand the story of what happens afterwards, Diamond and Pearl is really kind of that setup for how this is now, and then Arceus is the prequel. So that just being able to get that game for them so they can replay or play for the first time the game that Lucario starred in is a really good pick. Now, if your child or cousin or brother or have you is not really into those kind of games, but they have a very, very creative mind, and they want to venture out and maybe one day make their own video game. You got Garage, Nintendo Garage, and that's a game where you can either, it's kind of, I won't say set up like Mario Maker, but it's one of those games where you can play other people's games as well, create your own game. So as a younger individual whose minds, let's be honest, was way more creative than our minds, just to be able to have them be able to use some tools that they can figure out, make their own game, or have their own fun or whatever, and to be able to invite their friends over or put that game out online to see and have other people play it, I think that's a really big thing to push their creativity and their excitement to be able to play these games. Now, the next one I'm going to say, I feel like I'm probably going to get the most backlash for, but whatever. It's me. I don't care. Cyberpunk 2077? Anybody?
So all hate needs to go to Sandstorm.
Okay, so the reason why I picked this game, besides it being like $6 on any platform at this point in time, is also because they have done quite a lot between the first, when this game first came out, and to this point. There has been massive amount of updates. Yeah, there's still some problems here and there, but they're not nearly as big as problems as they were when this game first came out. And trust me, I know, because I started this game on day one and still have been playing this game to this day. So I've seen all the updates that has happened to this game. If you are one of those people who like shooters and who kind of like the style of a Fallout, or a Elder Scrolls or anything like that, this game is up your alley. Now, mind you, I'm going to keep it real. If you're trying to get it for the PlayStation 4 or something like that, probably not. If you got a PlayStation 5 or a Series S or X or a PC, this is probably more so up your alley. Though the PlayStation 4 version isn't horrible, I would still probably say skip on this because it's not made for that. So yeah, so just keep that in mind. Just keep that in mind. Where am I at? 3?
Yep.
Trying to think, what other games would I put up there? A game that came out, and this is actually a game that I'm still playing, not my first time around. I'm actually 2 or 3 games in, and this is actually a little bit of an older game, but I kind of want to stick with this like sub horror type of game. It's more so of a thriller, but the reason why I bring this up is actually because it's also on the Switch, and while I haven't played the Switch version, I have heard that it's another game from subscriber that it's very well done. Is Control. This game is a game that's not, I wouldn't let my kids play it. Just it's not because there's
the little ones. It's not for the little ones.
No. It's not because there's a whole lot of swearing or profanity or anything like that. It's just the tone and the premise of this game is very creepy. But it's very well written. It takes place in the universe. If you know of the game Alan Wake, it's in the same universe as Alan Wake as well. They talk a lot about AWEs, and that stands for Alan Wake Incident, Alan Wake Events. I definitely think if you're into shooters or anything like that, or side thriller games, that's definitely the game to go ahead and pick up. Now, my last game is a game that you PlayStation 5 heads been clamoring and jumping all over since it first moved over, and now they have some DLC, I believe. I believe the DLC came either with the PlayStation 5 version or it came out just after. Dang, now I can't remember the name of the game. What's my samurai game? Oh man,
Ghost of Tsushima.
Ghost of Tsushima. Thank you. Ghost of Tsushima. If you guys know me, like I just said earlier, if it's a samurai game, I'm a whore for samurai games. Like that. That's just straight up.
It's
Just
the genre.
it's the genre.
Yeah,
And
it's
it's
the
a
genre.
genre that's not really seen a whole lot in the gaming community, especially as of late. So to be able to play this game and it be not really toned down on the fantasy, as far as like the things that you could do and stuff. Yeah, some of that stuff is like kind of
You kind of have to have it in there. You kind of
yeah,
have to.
yeah. Because you're samurai. You're
Yeah,
samurai.
you
But
want to do the cool samurai stuff.
yeah. But outside of that, it's a really well done game. The story is actually really amazing, very very deep. It sticks to the roots of Japanese tradition as far as everything that goes on into the game, all the way down to cleaning your sword and everything. It's just it's a phenomenal game, and I
And
definitely.
and Akira Kurosawa mode for the
Oh
film
yes,
heads.
yes, the black and white.
For the movie heads, Akira Kurosawa mode.
Very, very, very well done game. That was, I believe, my last, no,
Yeah.
2 years ago, game
But
of the year. So
that director's cut came out this year, right?
yeah, that's what. Yes, for PlayStation 5. Yep, and I think that's when they dropped the DLC too. So you get a whole another island on top of the island that you're dealing with in this game.
Okay. Now there
At
are
100,020 frames per second.
yeah, there are a couple of other games that I want to mention, and the only reason why I'm mentioning these is because they're a little bit on the more mature side. This is for like your teens that are in high school and adult. One for Switch, that's No More Heroes 3. You cannot leave out Travis Touchdown at any point in time. I'm sorry.
No.
That game, the kids can't because it's just no, just no. I'm telling you right now, if you are a parent and your kid that is 7 saying they want to play No More Heroes, find out where they learned that from, and don't let the child play with them no more. Now,
it pays a lot of homage to a lot of things.
Yeah, and we'll just leave it at that. The other one is Back for Blood. The reason why I bring this one up is, and the only reason why I didn't put it in my original list is because they've been having a few issues on it. I feel me and a few friends were playing the other night, and it just kept kicking us out of our game. But it was a whole issue with the servers at the time. But it is a team-based zombie game. It's actually pretty fun if you have a team with you. So if you have someone that has a lot of friends, I would get that for them as well. I'll put that on the list too. Now that's available for PC, Xbox, and PlayStation. So those are the other two but those are strictly for adults and like teens and up. Like it's funny because when I see like a M for mature rated game, I'm like, if you're in high school, you can play it because you've heard everything they're gonna say on it.
Right.
And you've seen most stuff. Like that's how I usually view it. I don't know why they have it like that because I haven't played anything that's like rated mature that is anything half the time not even worse than an R-rated movie half the time. But that's just me. Okay, so I think that's just about does it. I'm gonna wait on that.
I was gonna say I got two more if I can throw them out.
Yeah, throw them out.
So if you thank you, Vicky.
Hi, Vicky.
If you are or your children, actually, I got three, and one is not video game related, kind of. If you've got a child or a relative who's really into Star Wars, KOTOR, which is the Knights of the Old Republic, that's a game that is out for Switch. One of the best done games in the Star Wars games that are out so far. It is one of the games where you kind of create your own character and it tells a story for you, but it's very, very well done. I highly, highly suggest it because that if you ask any like Star Wars head who plays games, they will probably put that in their top 3. So that's one. If you have younger kids who are really into Star Wars as well, I suggest the Lego Star Wars trilogy. I don't know if the whole saga is out yet. Is it?
I think it's coming if it's not already out.
Okay. So the Lego Star Wars, if you don't get the whole saga, at least the Skywalker saga is out. Definitely pick that up because Legos is always funny. And to bring it to Star Wars, that's great. The other one that I would suggest, and this is not necessarily game related, but this is definitely for the nerds and people who like Alexi and stuff like that. Go ahead and get your Disney Plus subscription. At least get it for a year for a friend or a family or something like that if they're really into the Marvel side. Shang-Chi just came out, so you can watch that as well. Every single Marvel movie except for the Spider-Man ones.
And they're supposed to be, this allegedly coming.
Yeah, so like you'll get all of those. You can get the OG Spider-Man from 1990s, the good X-Men, Gargoyles, Darkwing Duck. Do I need to keep going? Tailspin. We can do this all day.
Yeah, Darkwing Duck for sure.
And like I said, so I have it, and I will tell anybody, I just go and pay the annual because it's just easier. Just pay the annual.
Might as well. They just had a, and they have The Simpsons too. So it doesn't stop at just Disney. They have their Fox series and stuff like that too. And funny, the Simpsons just had their like annual anniversary or whatever for Disney Plus, which was only like 6 minutes, but it was the most hilarious thing that I've ever seen. So I would highly recommend that. And I think as of right now, all the way to the end of the month, it's actually cheaper if you get it. So act now. And I'm not sponsored by Disney, so but act now.
Yeah. All right. So Shadow, you are here. Did you get a chance to see that video I tagged you in this morning?
No.
About the Ride Forge thing? No. Okay. Well, the reason why I wanted you on is because you know how we were talking about netcode?
Oh, of course.
Now, because you were in that tweet thread with me when Kazuhiro Harada basically said it has to be programmed in, right?
Yes.
And people were attacking him, and I was like, dude, why? Like he's telling you exactly what has to happen. It has to be programmed. It's a programming thing, and people
it's the truth.
Yeah. So the Riot Forge guys, they're coming out with a actual League of Legends fighting game, and both guys said we are programming netcode to make sure that I'm like, are y'all gonna believe it now that they said it?
Facts, because you have to undo the original code the way it was programmed. So I don't know how else to explain.
Shadow, hold on 1 second. I'm not.
Are you going to acknowledge it? Or?
I'm not doing it. I am not doing it. Okay, there you go, Shadow. Continue.
So I was only going to acknowledge it because I got crown in my cup. But no. So check this out. So to explain it as and I don't want to talk down, but explain it to the layman as simply as possible. A game is programmed in layers. You start with usually what you start with first is your inputs and your main code, right? Because your inputs interact with how the game is going to work. So those adjustments have to happen so the game can compensate for you giving it input, right? So if you're playing a fighting game or you're playing a shooter or you're playing a platformer or whatever, that main code can't interrupt itself from its normal game loop unless you give it input so it can respond. So if you're trying to emulate somebody doing said motions via a serial connection, but now you're emulating it over a network, now you have to compensate for delays, for just the fact that the input itself is not coming directly from the console. That requires separate programming for you to say, hey, look, well, this input is coming from this remote machine over here, and they're doing this or whatever. And now you have to time it in such a way that it doesn't interfere with the display input and the display response time, and it doesn't interfere with your gameplay response time as far as your controls, because your controls could be off based on the remote person's input because they're expecting their input instead of yours. So you got to make sure that all that's in sync. So to build a game around single player or local multiplayer input, and then just saying, well, we're going to on top of it just add multiplayer input and add this quote unquote net code on top of it, that's not a thing. You got to rebuild the game to work correctly around what you're doing. Or, I mean, you have to do some type of rewrite where you're patching it or something like that. Either way, you're changing how the game originally was programmed to be able to add it after the fact. And I don't know how else to explain that to people, but that's how all these fighting games were written all this time. And they're written with online gameplay for delay input and not necessarily rollback. So basically, hey, if you're slow, then we're going to slow down the entire game until your input is accepted and then go from there, versus rollback, which goes in this whole prediction mode that the host console does, not just your console, whoever's determined the host of said match, because they're not done on a server. So when you connect to player one or player two or whatever, player two, let's say they end up being the host because they have the fastest connection or whatnot, they get to just say, hey, look, okay, all these remote connections that I'm getting in, they're just frames by 120 frames or whatever. So whenever they receive a response, they delay your game 120 frames. So when you press your input, it waits 120 frames to show you the result. That kind of stuff, like, people got to understand that that's what's happening under the hood. It's not something that you could just tack on to a game. So I don't know how else to explain it to the chat or the comments for this video or whatever, but basically that's it. You can't add online multiplayer to a game that didn't initially have it, and you can't add rollback net code to a game that initially was programmed for delay-based input. It's something that you have to rewrite a game for and then go from there. And yeah, Fangirl Review is probably she's the best troll of all time. But it's kind of where we're at with that. And it just frustrates me that people don't get that yet. They think it's just some type of plug and play thing that you can download and then it makes things work, and then magically Nintendo and all these other Japanese developers, because it's not just Nintendo. Yeah. All these other Japanese developers are so wrong for not adding it after the fact. If they already built the game, bro, they're not going to do it. Maybe for a new game, maybe. But
the other thing too is that's not how any programming is done.
No,
programming is done. You have to think it out, and then it takes a lot. You don't know how many lines of code you have to go through just to get one thing to work.
Mortal Kombat 10 took 3 years to add rollback the correct way it was supposed to be implemented. It was originally delay based, and it took 3 years worth of testing, debugging, and whatnot for them to finally get it right. And it didn't matter anyway, because Mortal Kombat 11 just ended up being built from scratch with it, and it's 10 times better. So it's just one of those things where if you want it, it needs to be built in the game at first. And so I got a 44 gig video talking about if you want to buy something, it should probably have what you want built in at first before you complain about them not adding it as some type of patch later on.
And that's what Harada was talking about a couple months ago. That's what he was talking about. And people just was like, I'm like, dude, like, he's telling the truth. It's not programmed.
Why won't Nintendo add rollback to Smash? That means you don't like Smash because it's delay based. Don't buy the game. Don't buy the game. Just don't, because it wasn't built around that. Buy only rollback based games and then see where that goes for you.
Yeah. I mean, and please stop repeating stuff just because your favorite individuals say it.
Yeah. Because they don't know what they're talking about either. They're regurgitating the same talking points that they hear from PR, and PR is only saying it because they want people off their ass because they want to sell this game.
Or that's what they was told to say from the top.
Facts.
I mean, that's how, if you work in a corporation, you already understand what a PR firm is there for.
To protect the company.
Does this come from my man's talking about rollback netcode?
No, it was something when I saw the video, because the Riot Forge video, I've been loving what Riot Forge been doing lately with their League of Legends stuff. Like they've been doing a lot of cool. I wish Overwatch would do it. I know we all don't hate Activision right now, but I wish they would do that with Overwatch, because like I said, there's a lot of lore in Overwatch, but they're not doing anything with it, in my opinion, gameplay wise. And I think League of Legends, they shadow dropped 2 games. One of them is a turn-based RPG. The other one is an action platformer, platformer / music game. And they got another couple dropping next year. They put out the anime Arcane on Netflix. They're doing a lot of stuff to say, okay, look, we know y'all love this game the way it is, but we're putting the lore in the different forms and y'all can see it. And them doing a fighting game, I'm like, this is cool. So when I started looking at it, and they basically straight up said, we're programming our netcode, make sure the netcode works, and we're programming it. I'm like, this is what Harada was saying. But you have people who actually think that it's something that it's just like a switch you can just put in, just flip it on, and then boom, online just works so much better because they heard their favorite YouTuber or their favorite influencer say that, who probably does not have any programming experience whatsoever, don't have any experience in the IT field whatsoever, and it doesn't work like that. And when you try to say that, and once again, Harada is Tekken at this point. If you know anything about Tekken, he is Tekken. You're gonna mean to tell me Harada don't know what he's talking about?
So Sandstorm is an ongoing thing, and it's been that way. Like, people are choosing to pay attention to what they want to pay attention to, because they want to follow what the Overton window is. And the Overton window is whatever Gaming Press says or whatever popular YouTubers say, regardless of the ignorance of the situation. So you can hear actual developers saying, hey, look, we got shit like audio that's going to be desynced because of this, because in main, when we start the game in RAM or whatever, we have audio streams coming in first, and that would delay everything. If we try to put in, this afterthought, whatever, rollback netcode, is going to interfere with audio. You got Capcom developers saying it, you got fucking Namco developers saying it, you got Smash Bros developers saying it, and these people don't care. They're going to ignore it because their favorite YouTuber said add it, because it's just a plugin that you can add. They don't listen to what Maximilian Dude tells you. Like, he says, I like rollback netcode, but they're just like, okay, well, it's just a thing you can just plug into a game. They're not listening to everything that he says after that. Like, you got to build a game around it. Like, Killer Instinct was built around it from the ground up. Day one, it was supposed to be an Xbox Live Arcade game, and it ended up being this big old thing because of how they built around it or whatever. And he loves it for that reason and what have you. And everybody ignores the small part. Like, they really built this game from scratch from that. And it's just one of those things where it's become its own fucking misinformation well, of where people just think that, well, GGPO means that's good online multiplayer for me, and therefore you gotta have it. And like,
no, it doesn't work like that.
And it's not something that you could just add to a game. Like, you gotta build a whole game around it. And even then, like, just because you have GGPO doesn't mean that your game is going to be good, because there's a million other things you got to account for. The servers that your multiplayer matchmaking is going to be hosted on, how the game itself is programmed as far as the timing for inputs via they being remote or local, because you can have input lag on the local game, which will affect your online game, and it affects the online game exponentially based on how many milliseconds it's off locally. So it's just one of those things where, you got people out here that think that, the frame rate of a game is determined because of insert specs, blah, blah, blah. Never mind what an actual developer does to build the game, or whether they lock the game at a certain frame or what have you. They immediately think that it's because of the hardware that a game is performing the way it's performing. And those are the Overton windows that we have to deal with. It took Grand Theft Auto Definitive Edition to be on PS5 and Xbox Series X for them to say, "Oh yeah, the developers aren't doing their job."
Which
but if the
makes
game
no
just
sense.
came out for Switch, what were they going to do? Blame Switch.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
This is where we are right now. And we've been saying this for years, and all these ports or whatever come out with all these issues and whatnot, we're like, they need more time with the port. And they're like, oh, well, no, it's just a Switch can't do it. The Switch can't do it. I'm like, bruh, they spent 9 months porting this game to Switch when the original developers had 3 years to work on it.
Yeah.
What do you expect?
But then you get a team that actually know what they're doing, a la Grizo or Saber Interactive or Panic Button.
Panic Button. Yeah.
And even then, they only get like a year worth of time.
And the stuff they're doing is magic.
Yeah, re-engineering bad code from the original game, and then you still want to give them shit. And I'm like, bro, like the original team couldn't even do what they did. So
and they're dumping like loads of code that doesn't even need to be in the game.
Especially with the case of Witcher 3. Especially
because they dumped so much of that because they had to. They were like, it was just bad code that shouldn't even been there.
It's just audio strings that went nowhere. Like the Switch has its own DSP. Why do you need audio strings on a CPU thread? There's zero reason for that. Zero. Wii U as well. Wii U had its own DSP. Why are you trying to port a game over and you got audio threads and this console only has three CPU threads you can use because each CPU could only do one thread at a time, and we only had 3. So you got the second core 1, doing audio threads when the DSP could do it. And then you complain that the CPU is slow. I can't. This is the type of shit we're dealing with, man. And until people, I hate to say it, until people like us are asking developers questions, it's never gonna happen. Because the people, quote unquote, coming from Mizzou or whatever, because they have their journalism degree and completely disregard a Hippocratic oath, go and ask these people questions because they want access. They're not going to ask the right kind of questions and get the right kind of answers, especially if they don't want them to begin with.
Yeah, which is unfortunately sad, but true.
Yeah. Sorry to stand on my sandbox, but you know.
No, that's why I wanted you on here because that's why I wanted, because I'm like, dude, you can say it better than me. That's why I want you on. You can say it better than me.
Yeah, it's really not that complicated. If you want online multiplayer, and you want online multiplayer to work fluid, and you want a certain type of engine for it, it's got to be planned from scratch. It's got to be at the system level. The bare basis of the game itself, before they start writing the main program of the game, is already got to be planned to be in the main program of the game. If not, it's just not going to work as well. It's not. It's just not. So if it's not a feature of the game when they first announced the game, expect it to be bad if they add it after the fact, or expect it to not be possible if they add it after the fact, or they try to.
Yep,
it's just one of those things, man. I don't know what else to tell you. Like you can't just start adding a 8-liter engine to an engine block that only supports 4-liter engines. Like you can't just, that's not something that you can do. And even if you do that, okay, how does the transmission work after that? How does the fuel system work after that? How does the electrical system process all of that? Because the spark plugs got to fire on all those. It's expecting 4, and now you got 8. So how do you know what I mean? If you want to do car analogies, like that's probably the worst take, but still, like you get the concept. Like, you can't just add a big ass engine to a small block and you're missing all those pieces. It's just not going to work. Mm-hmm. So it's frustrating, but that's gaming media today, and that's the community today. A bunch of dumb people. I hate to call them dumb, but a bunch of dumb people that think they're smart, and that's just because they listen to buzzwords and they think the buzzwords make them smart. And at the end of the day, they're just a consumer that buys the game, and they are told what they're told, and they're buying games because their friends are buying them and because they see the buzzwords that they like in videos from Digital Foundry. That's really the truth. Mm-hmm. So
if Digital Foundry said it, then it's got to be true.
Yeah. The place that didn't exist before, forums existed on Eurogamer.
I'm just saying,
came out of nowhere.
Because God knows, like Mario Kart 8 is just unplayable at 57 frames a second.
57.
And on that note, people, hope everybody enjoyed our annual gift idea episode. We had added a couple extra things in there just because we had some topics to get out, but I do hope you guys enjoyed it. We will be off next Sunday because it's Thanksgiving, and some people will probably still have the itis.
Probably all of us.
Probably all of us. So we will be back the week after because we'll be gearing up for our other favorite time of the year, the Game Awards.
Hey, the Keely sled of death. Yes.
roast of the year.
Yep.
Yeah. Waiting for our good buddy Yosef to show up drunk as hell and grab that mic from Jeff and just make him embarrassed that he ever invited him.
Yep.
But yeah, we're gonna be probably gearing up for that one. Probably on the next episode, but we will not be live next Sunday. So hope you guys have a nice holiday, whether you celebrate or you don't. I hope you guys are safe if you're traveling. And please watch the good holiday cartoons, not these other ones. Watch the good ones. Y'all know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Y'all know what I'm talking about. Mickey's A Christmas Carol, Claymation Christmas.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Anything with the words Charlie Brown in it, because those are usually hilarious because Snoopy is the man. One love.
If John Lasseter wrote it, it's probably not bad.
Yeah. So we'll put it like that. Yeah. And can we all give up one time for Daffy Duck's Bah Humduck? But so just make sure you watch some good ones. Have fun. Have a good time. Sandstorm, anything you want to pimp out?
Yeah. So not this week, not this coming week, but next week. Like you said, we're doing the Video Game Awards, our annual roasting, which will be very comical. So make sure you show up for that. The day after that, we are going to do on my channel. We're going to have our own game of the year as well. Talk about the year as a whole and talk about what we want for next year, predict for next year. We got some faces coming on, so make sure you show up for that. I think this is probably the biggest one that we've done on our channel so far. So make sure you're there for that. Other than that, make sure you guys just have fun with gaming. This is that time. Enjoy it. If you're not enjoying it by yourself and you got family, make sure you get them involved in some gaming activities. Just having the closeness and the hilarity of what will come out of a Mario Party or a Mario Kart 8 or a Mario Golf or a Super Smash Brothers is like memorable. So please go out there and have fun with some games, please.
WarioWare Dance Central, man, I tell you, you have some moments.
All right, Shadow, anything you want to pimp out?
Man, so yeah, I kind of teased a 44 gig video that is currently sitting in Final Cut right now. So yeah, I may or may not upload that depending on how I feel. I have a Revelation video that I will be uploading as well, kind of talking about the year in review, kind of, and how my channel will be returning to form in 2022 and the reasons why. So stay tuned for that. There may or may not be a surprise Shadowcast this week. So yeah, stay around. I will put out a notification on YouTube as well. So if you follow me on YouTube, since I have over 1,000 subscribers in the past year, I can actually put those out now. So you'll see that on YouTube as a notification. So when you see that, you know the Shadowcast is going. So hop on and then you'll see me talk or whatever, and we'll go from there and try to figure out this whole situation, since apparently Streamlabs is not the way to go anymore. So yeah, that's about it. Other than that, man, you know, you play games to have fun and to impress other people, and Pac-Man 99 is great.
Gotcha. All right, so if you go over to the gaming channel, I put like 3 or 4 videos up of Ruin King,
yes,
League of Legends story. I have one with commentary, the others are without. So go over to check that out. That is a game that I'm currently enjoying. So if
I'm out to cop that.
If you like RPGs and you are a fan of Joe Madureira, I think you'll like this. It
kind of looks like Child of Light a little bit, like the way the combat kind of.
I'll talk to you afterwards. I do plan on doing a couple of movie reviews and posting them on the channel tomorrow and Tuesday. One for Red Notice and one for The Harder They Fall. Once again, like I said at the beginning of the video, I do apologize for not having that stuff already done, but I think from now on I'm just gonna try to get those done solo. and just go from there. But other than that, we will see you guys after not this Sunday, but the next Sunday, as we get ready for the Game Awards. Like I said, we will be having our annual live reaction roast session because it's supposed to be large. It's supposed to be over 50 world premieres.
Oh, I'm excited.
So this is probably gonna require a lot of Jamaican rum, but
world premiere.
Yeah, basically. So please be around to check that out. Like I said, we're going to be having some fun, and we're getting ready to get up to the road to our 100th episode. We're trying to lock down some people for guesting spots that we haven't had on in a while, or some people that haven't been on since I was with Gamers at Large. So yeah, we're gonna try to get some people to come on. So
bring the machine guns out. We can
hopefully it works. Hopefully it works out. But hope you guys have fun this holiday. I hope you guys be safe. Even if you don't celebrate, I hope you guys are safe and have fun to enjoy your time off with family and friends. And please, please, please play Mario Kart and hit somebody with a blue shell.
Facts. Facts. Alibi, happy 20th to Xbox, GameCube, and Wii. Well, Wii is 15.
Well, Wii's 15, yeah. But yeah,